Today we're adding a multifunctional new expansion and neighborhood to Bridgeport. Welcome to Seaview. Alright, so let's first off, because we have a lot of residential demand and commercial, let's just expand Bridgeport a bit. So I've already laid out a little bit of flat land here. Now the big problem is, how do we get the city over the highway? Well, actually it's pretty simple because there's already the junction here that we can pull this way. So we can just go oop. Also, I really don't like, what is this with me, but like I don't like it when I can't make like nice numbers. Like it needs to be 100. So that's the starting point. Now I could also like raise up the highway here and go off from this, but this roundabout, I don't want roundabouts with more than like 4 roads. So we are probably going to go over here and then drag it down there. But before we do that, I need to put down a road along this line and create a death trap. Because if you think about it, this is just a death trap because it's a straight unending road. So the same thing that happens like if you go downhill as a kid, like you're going downhill as a kid on like your bike or something, what's the thing you want to do? You want to go fast. And adults are just kids who are lying to themselves that they are mature. So if you get a long straight road like this, that's just going to also encourage people to speed because it's just, there's no barriers or anything. So I would like to have a, like at certain points have it go like without any reason beyond that, have it go like this, just so that, oh yeah, I need to slow down because you need to make these turns. That's how I would approach building a long road like that. Yes, it might look a little bit funky, but we're alright with that. We are all a little bit funky over here. We're also all a little bit crazy, but let's not mention that right now. Anyway, so we have then the street coming in here. This is probably going to be turned into a roundabout, then let's say about there. And then 35. How long is this? 88. So we... and then you turn back. Next, expand this. And boom. Now I could also just make this into like a... but that's... again, turning this into a pedestrian area, it just, you need one driver who's not paying attention and you just plow down this street. So it's probably better to just delete it. Like I wouldn't even preferably put a pedestrian road here because, again, you don't really, like you could actually, now that I think about it, you could put it like here. Yeah, like turn this into a bit of a park, but you just don't want to put it in line with the big long streets. Now, again, this might look a little bit funky, but if it works, and I have no idea if like speeding is a thing in City Skylines, I'm just not going to even try and make something a speedy heaven. Like that's the big thing of like, oh yeah, I want to design something new here. How? That's good. 120. Actually, let's make it longer. 153. Is that... I don't know what length I just made it. Yeah, 152. and 120. And now we can just put that down there. Hopefully the street doesn't get wonky. 120. Why? Actually, we could also just... Oh. I keep forgetting that we have more than... I keep forgetting that we have bigger streets. Although that one just fucked it up. But this is like a neighborhood, so you wouldn't really need a big street. Come on, zoning, work with me. That's not working. So. Now you're working with me. And then I don't want this to immediately cross into there. So let's go. Come on, zoning. It's like, it's not really that big of a deal of like, oh yeah, it doesn't align perfectly. But it does annoy me, and we're just going to have to deal with that. 152. Boom. Now let's make this like a bit of that. And so actually, if I can under the so then again, let's do 102. Let's drag that along and that, because then you still have space between the highway and whatever we're going to build here, which I have no idea what we're going to do with, but we will find something. And then of course this needs to, actually I think it could be just a 1-lane road, and they have a weird roundabout. A really weird roundabout. I should also get the bigger roundabouts, because I do love throwing them in. And then we could actually also let's do this. I don't want to put it on that roundabout. I actually want to kind of connect this and maybe here, because you don't want one lane or one road of entry, because then if that road gets blocked, then this entire neighborhood is just fucked. That. But then we need the roads kind of in the middle, just to add like a roundabout, just because we can. However, the road in the middle here wouldn't work. This is again going along the line of like, too long of a straight road encourages speeding, and yeah, we are not here to build death traps yet, sadly. Can I just do this and then like certain points just this is Kind of like that. I have no idea if this is not the same on either side. But it needs to be. Otherwise, I'm going to scream. Yeah, I have a very low tolerance for not 112 that side and 112 on that side. Then delete those and then delete that and that and that. Why? There you go. And I was already going to place a little bit of a path here, which I know I said, oh yeah, you don't want it to go in like just the part of a road. But this road is just small enough to do that. Actually, if we can, let's see if we can. Well, that doesn't work exactly how I wanted it. Now I have to repair this shit. And 20 again. Let's see how that looks. That does give a little bit more of a natural look to this entire thing. So we're going to continue with that on this side as well. And then again 20 just to get it the same on this side. And now you just have a road that doesn't encourage speeding. Now I'm going to pause because I want to kind of figure out where would I want things to go. So thinking of like just looking at a tree, the sun comes from there, so this is the south. So you don't want to have high rises here, but you do want to kind of fulfill a pattern. So you would have like space for a high rise here, or should we just go like row houses here, here? Like this is just kind of figuring out like these people have their garden on the, or their back garden to the north, so that's not going to be that great of a back garden. And then we can do maybe some bigger apartment. No, I want to give a bit more breathing room between those. So it's very symmetrical, but that's usually how planning goes. Usually it's very much like this. You design one pattern and you just constantly use it everywhere. Or should it more go towards like... Yeah, because then you can have a park here. And then this is just purely commercial. The same can be done here. Or should we put a fire station there? Because we also need to think of other services besides commercial and such. Even though I almost never really think too much about those. Like everybody, when it comes to urban design, does have blind spots. The good thing is if you know what your blind spots are. Like everybody just focuses usually on one thing. 32. Nope. And it's not like, oh, we forget everything else, but it's like, yeah, you have more passion for like maybe commercial areas or the residential areas. Oh wait, and I need to do this, which is supposed to eventually connect up here. We're going to figure out how that goes somehow. But yeah, there's just usually things of like, oh yeah, I really like designing parks and such. But that also means that I sometimes forget like, alright, I need to actually make this kind of profitable, or at least like that's a thing when it comes to urban design. You don't really, as a city, you don't profit off of parks. You don't profit off of like pretty much anything that's not like, oh, residential, commercial, or industrial. So basically all of the good things in your city, the city doesn't make money off of. And so that has to be offset by things that the city can make money off of. AKA residential areas and such. Yeah, that actually kind of works. And then we could actually even have offices over here. Like, I don't think this would be very... Actually, let's be honest, we would have housing here. Because otherwise this would just be a dead area. Because you want kind of housing, officing maybe like kind of mixed. Or at least have not just like commercial and offices and nothing else. Because then this would be a destination area, which is fine. But you don't really get that like outside of like working hours, this area would be very dead. Also, why is this like so bad for like office suitability? Bad. Why? But yeah, so then we have everything here zoned out. But you want people to be here throughout the day, because otherwise crime will probably skyrocket here. Especially just with like, yeah, this area is going to be completely dead at night. This one probably as well. And you don't really want that. Now I need to actually figure out how to put the highway over here. I might actually raise up the highway here. So this road would go just straight on like that. Would connect to this. Like, this is the idea. Is to just have this. And then have the highway coming over. Now you could actually even potentially have offices over here, but I think that's a little bit too much. Which does mean that the highway... this is highway. Oops. This is 3, so then it merges back into 2. Let's not do that. Goes like that for another 60 meters. Then it goes up for 80. Same thing here. Go up for 80, and then just kind of looking, it would go for 70 meters. 70. Actually, that's kind of annoying in a way, because it's not flat up here. You also most often don't really want to raise the highway on like the way that I'm doing here. Alright, let's just flatten this area, because otherwise it's just going to be a pain. Oh. This area is a lot higher. We will fix that later. And then it goes down. For how long was this? Let's just go 60. That's definitely not correct. Alright, let's just look at this again. And remembering. I know that this was 50. And it goes up. No, was 60. Damn it. So 60. 80. Alright, now I know. I also need to delete this a bit. I mean, it's pretty normal for like the highway to be higher, but usually it's more along the lines of this, where it's on the ground, but the ground is just raised. And 80. Like, usually you don't really do this. Oh. Oh. Poison didn't do this correctly. Because I knew... Or I need to change this zigzag because the... Well, actually... Yeah, this lane needs to go in. That needs to be the main roads. Yeah. Again, I'm not a traffic engineer, so I'm just like, yeah, this looks good. I think. Help. Let's snap it actually too. All right, let's see. This one. Let's do 50. And this one needs to go like from there. And also let's do 50. And then raise you up. I think it's... Yeah. You see, guys, Poison learns slowly, but he does. And then it's 70. And 90. And then you just sort of connect this. I also feel like this turn is just way too sharp. But yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. Now let's... do that. Let's just soften this up a bit. And let's... Oh, going the wrong way. Can I also just delete this and like make this nice? Actually, let's just... Boom. Could I actually connect? Let's see, because this, luckily, isn't spending any money on my buff. Can I just raise this there? No, that it's the bridge that's, so it has. So now we have ended up with Sea View. The name coming from because, I mean, it is overlooking the ocean, so it makes sense to call it Sea View then. But we have a road that doesn't encourage you to speed. We have a lot of mixed uses, like we have residential areas and shopping areas, and then even have a business district, or, well, just a cluster of offices. Don't look at the background, this is filmed later, so that's the next episode. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. If you like it, throw a speed restriction at the like button. And if you want to see more, throw a roundabout at the subscribe button. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye bye.